You might be able to see behind me, just a huge amount of press have gathered here today. This is one of the first times that we're really seeing Kevin Spacey over the last few years since his career and conduct has come under the spotlight. In court, really Mr Spacey himself said very little. He was asked to give his name and his address. He wasn't asked to enter any sort of plea during this hearing. Of the charges that he is facing, we heard very little other than the sexual assault charges took place in 2005 and 2013. The 2008 charge relates to causing a man to engage in penetrative sexual activity without consent. Much of this hearing, though, really was relating to whether Kevin Spacey should be made to surrender his travel documents, whether he could be allowed to return back to America where he's currently living. Now, his defence argued during the hearing today that actually throughout the proceedings he has completely cooperated with the investigation. We heard how there was 4 days worth of police interviews that he cooperated with in New York. We know the Metropolitan Police, based on the evidence that they have been gathering, these charges have now been brought. His legal team said he strenuously denies any wrongdoing and is determined to prove his evidence. So they argued, really, there is no need for Mr Spacey to surrender his travel documents, because they said he needs to answer these charges in order to proceed with his life. So Kevin Spacey, the judge decided in the end that the CPS failed to persuade them that he was at any risk. So you can just see behind me actually a bit of a scrum as Kevin Spacey returns to his car, leaving the court today. But as I was saying, CPS failed to convince the judge, really, that Kevin Spacey was any sort of flight risk, and the judge now has granted him unconditional bail, and he will now be appearing at Southwark Crown Court next on the 14th of July.